Welcome back to Java Space, guys. We have done so much at the moment. We have installed Prometheus and we have integrated it to our Spring Boot application. And we have seen just basic status of our application. Uh, okay, before we install Grafana, let me just go back to Prometheus that we just installed. As you can see, our API is up. Prometheus server is also up, but we can also view metrics. Let's say I want to check some metrics on CPU usage. Then I can execute this query and I can view the graph. Look at that. So this is the graph of how my Spring application is utilizing the CPU. So I can check also HTTP request. You can see I have max, can execute. This is the graph. You can see I even see get the request status 200. There's one client error, status 404. I can see all these things here. So now that data is now on Prometheus. We want to build beautiful dashboards with Grafana. But before we do that, we want to install Grafana first. So we're going to use Docker to install and run Grafana. So before then, you used to just install Grafana and it will be done. But now the full installation of Grafana to work, they have sort of put logs in a separate, I would say in a separate server, log processing and other things. So that's why you need Grafana Loki, which is a set of components that can be composed into a fully featured logging stack. And you will see that this also this logging stack is composed of, you would say, three components. The first one being Promtail, and you also have Logi, this logging stack. So Promtail is an agent. It's responsible for gathering logs and sending them to Logi. And Logi is the main server. It's responsible for storing those logs and processing the queries. Then we have Grafana for querying and displaying the, the logs. So I'm going to click on this link here on the slide just to go to see the instructions for installing Grafana Loki. But before that, I think we need to install Grafana first. So I'm just going to copy this command and run it here. I'm going to run. Okay, I guess I have to take this character. It made a mistake. I have to take away this command character. Then Grafana is up and running. For us to know that Grafana is up and running, we want to check it on port 3000. So I'm just going to come here, say localhost 3000. So it wants me to log in. So by default, it gives you admin. I'm not gonna update the password now. I'm gonna skip this section. So as you can see, guys, Grafana is fully installed in our application. Um, so as I said before, uh, the processing of logs has been put in a separate, I would say, application or server, which is that Loki, which is a login stack. So we're going to install that as well. So to do that, uh, as you can see, I'm going to copy this. So what this would do, it will download files. Okay, let me just copy it and then run it so we can see that. Just going to clear this and paste. Wonderful. So if you will look at this in this directory here, where I am running it, I can say ls. You see that we have these files here, Loki config and then Promtail config, which already have some basic configurations that we are depending on. So this also, we saw that, where is that? Let me see on my Docker before I say anything. So as you can see, we see Loki is here. It's running on port uh, 3100, and Grafana is running on port 3000. And we also see Promtail is here. They are all running. So let me just try and see if I can query Loki quickly. It's running on port 31. See what happens. So as you can see, it's running. All right, it's fine. So now that we have installed uh, Grafana, we have installed all these other components, the Promtail and the Loki. It's time now to take our metrics from Prometheus and put them into Grafana. So I'm just going to show you some basic configurations. So the first thing you will have to start with on Grafana, you create a data source, which I've mentioned from the slides that the data source can come from a variety of places like, as we mentioned, Prometheus. We also mentioned Graphite, InfluxDB, and many more that we have chosen. So our own is Prometheus, as we have mentioned. Then Prometheus server is running on port 9090, but it doesn't know localhost because it's running on on a Docker container. So let's just put an IP address, and what I'm gonna do now is to just test. So if it's successful as we see now, it means the configuration, it means it was able to connect to Prometheus. If we were to put a wrong, let's say a wrong maybe IP address here and test again, obviously it will fail. So it was able to find the Prometheus server. So the data source is created. So our role now is to create a dashboard. So mind you, this dashboard must take data from Prometheus and display it for us on Grafana. All right. So now you have several ways in which you can achieve this. You can create a library panel, or you can import a dashboard. So I'm going to demonstrate a library panel as we go on with the videos. For now, I'm going to start with a dashboard, importing a dashboard. So Grafana, from their website, they have templates that they have done for you. such that you do not need to um, to create these panels from scratch yourself. So you can basically import a template and use it. So I'm just going to search for some Spring templates in here. Let's see what we will get. All right, so we have Spring Observability. As you can see, it has 204,000 downloads. This one has 614,000 downloads. So I'm just going to use these two for now. So I want to start with this dashboard, Spring Boot 2.1 system monitor. So I'm going to copy this ID, or I can download the JSON. I don't want to do it. I just want to use the ID. So I'm just going to say import a dashboard. As you can see, they want us to use the ID here, which is the one that I've copied. Had I chosen to download the JSON, I was going to put it here, but I didn't choose that option. So I'm going to say load, then I'm going to say select. I have to select the data source, which is Prometheus, the one we have just configured. Then I say import. Look at that. So now we have all these useful metrics that comes from Prometheus, and Prometheus takes it from our Spring application. So this one is just focusing on monitoring the system, CPU, heap, memory, and all those things. So I'm just gonna import another template, which is Spring Boot statistics. So I'm gonna come back here and import Spring Boot, Spring Boot observability. I meant this one, and I can do the same thing. Copy the ID, come to my dashboard, create a new dashboard, import, then paste it here, and look at this one. You see, the first template we used only required Prometheus data source. But look at this one. It requires Prometheus. It also requires Loki, which is the one we install. That means if we did not install Loki with Docker, this won't work. So now we didn't even configure that Loki. All right. So let's configure our Loki. You can search for it here. There you go. So now this Loki, we saw that it's running on port 3100. We can confirm that in our Docker, Loki port 3100. So we're also going to do the same thing, put the IP address of the machine and Loki. Then we test success. It means it was able to connect to Loki. So now we can go back. Data source. Okay, I want dashboard, sorry. So we can go back and create that dashboard that we wanted to create, which is this one here. So this one we have configured Prometheus. We also created Loki data source, which is here. Then we can import. Look at this. So already we see that we have all this data coming here. So if I was to open my Postman just to see real-time monitoring, I'm just going to call this endpoint levels multiple times. I'm calling it multiple times just to see if there will be some changes on our dashboard in Grafana. Then maybe I can call this quizzes also. All right. So let's see if we are getting some traction. As you can see, there has been some changes here. There has been some changes. The calls here, they are 20 on levels. On quizzes, there are 9. So let me call again and see. Quizzes, we had 9 before, and then levels, we have 20. 10, 11. Okay, let me go to levels again. Remember, we had 20 and 9. We should have a new values. As you can see, we have new values here. And then we see that we have a spike here. Let's see what was spike. That levels, you see the changes. So that means this is giving us the real time monitoring of the requests that are coming um, to us. So you can import as many dashboards as you want. I think I saw Spring Boot statistics this other time. Which one did I? Okay, let me check this one. The rating. Okay, let me check this one. Spring Boot statistics. Then I can copy this and create a new dashboard. Okay, this one does not require Loki. As you can see, this is it, the template. But this one is not showing much, so discard. Alright, I've discarded that one. Let me see another one. Okay, let me check this one and see what it has for me. Copy ID. Anything else? Look at that. So see, this is how it's showing you the requests. So I'm just gonna start new request altogether here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say hymns. Okay, let me say no translation, 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 translation. All right, GHS. So let's see if we had some changes on this one. I don't seem to see some immediate change. Let me refresh. Maybe I've not used this template before. Yes, the translations have been added here, as we can see. Yeah, but this one does not. So I've saved this dashboard. Alright, so let me go back to observability. So you see translations here, 1, 2, 3. So I'm just gonna continue. I wanna see if there will be some changes there. Okay, translation, sorry. Translations. Just trying to see. Okay, maybe it's just an average time it takes to execute that. But as you can see, translations have been added here also. And we can also see here that translation is here, the green color. As you can see, they are spiking, they are going up. Yeah, so this is how what you can do with Grafana. As we see, we have linked it to our Prometheus server. So in the upcoming videos, I'm going to be showing you how you can, instead of creating a dashboard, You want to create uh, a panel. Let me say HTTP. Uh, okay, let me see. Okay, let me not do it here.